there are poems of yours that will probably be all-time great poems in 1,000 years, like Siamese Reflection, like the Twin Towers, like American Imperium, and a few others, as well as books like True Life and The Machete Brothers, which are revelatory as well as being great works of art. Those will last throughout time.
And
But
they will last, but
the,
their main purpose is that something comes better than it. Because if I came
yeah,
back somehow in
exactly.
a
Well,
thousand years
that's what I
and
was going to
poetry
mention,
hadn't
is that
advanced, I'd be fucking
there's
angry.
yes, there's this idea that the Greeks came up with called the Great Chain of Being. Carolus Linnaeus, he took it and he made that a million genus tree branch. Uh, it's with an idea starts and where an idea goes, and I think that if we're talking about objectivity, even though you have all these great poems and all these great novels and whatnot, I think that the idea that will last and that will be the most important is the idea of objectivity. And it's such a simple thing that just most people haven't got for, thousands of years. But it is akin in the arts to the scientific method, where all things will spring from it. And
Right.
you will have artists that will not just have 1,000 great poems, but will have tens of thousands of great poems
And let
that
me
will be
just make a
able to.
comment on this here. And the thing that the most aggravating about this, as we were speaking in 2016, is the imputation of hubris or arrogance on my part for saying that such a thing as objectivity exists. What could be more arrogant or more hubristic to say that when you have a great work of art, like, say, the film 2001 by Kubrick, and you put it aside a piece of shit like Brokeback Mountain, and you're telling me one isn't better? There can be no more arrogance than that. And I brought this up, for example, in a recent interview that I did with a fellow who defended David Foster Wallace. And he actually made a point. It was a stupid thing he said about Wallace being a genius, but it showed how he didn't get the thing. So he actually, by making a stupid statement, actually aided the interview. But imagine looking at something like a David Foster Wallace, loaded with cliches on cliches per page, no characterization, no humor, just potty, third grade level humor and writing or
Third
attempted humor.
grade, you're
Yeah,
being generous.
yeah. And then looking at something like I wrote, or looking at Moby Dick, or looking at A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, and trying to say that they're on the same level. Fuck you. Fuck you. Just because you can't see that, just because you don't want to see that or acknowledge it, don't damn the rest of us. There can be nothing more arrogant than saying that everything is subjective. Not only is it materialistic in this universe that we know of, false, but even if it wasn't obviously false in a material sense, it can be no more disheartening to say everything is subjective. Why do anything then?
Well, exactly. And the idea of subjectivity is such a narrow thing. Sexual attraction, for instance, is obviously a domain that subjectivity plays good realms in. But the idea of aesthetics and beauty, those are things that can be evaluated objectively.
Right, and
And and
beauty isn't art either. That's
it,
another.
if you were going to take, sorry.
Beauty is, a lot of people talk about beauty being art itself or essential to art. That's nonsense.
Yeah,
Ugliness.
well, it's a separate
Yeah,
division
yeah.
anyway. But if you were going to be subjective and say everything is subjective, then if I go to the sun and say, well, it's Apollo, then we're obviously a few thousand years back to when the Greeks were thinking these things. But you have to have an objective lens, and it's the same with whoever came up with the scientific method. If someone was going to say, well, it's hubris to say that everything needs to go through trial and error, then they're just a moron, and they can't see something that was evident from the start but was just at that point given a name and given the tools in order to complete trial and error and start with a hypothesis and then get to a theory and then get to a fact and then have an ever evolving chain of ideas.